What's up, YouTube family? This is another Gemini Thoughts video, and this video today is about blueprints for life are necessary. And guess who's responsible for providing you with that? Your parents. So, on my last video, I talked about how being a single parent sucks. And I came to a point in that video where I was trying to figure out why is it that I did not prevent myself from having more children until I found attracted a stable guy, got myself together first, foremost, and then attracted a stable guy in order to have a family versus the route that I took. So I began to ponder on that and ponder and ponder and ponder. And I came to the conclusion that blueprints are absolutely necessary. And then I said, okay, well, who provides the blueprints? And it's the parents. So in order for me to arrive at this, I began to think about how computer programming works. It works by you drawing out a plan first on whatever it is that you want to achieve. When you're building something from the ground up, you think about it, you research it, figure out the best route to go, and then you start building from there. That's how you start programming, in a nutshell. So when I started thinking about in human life, the people that are responsible for teaching you the blueprints are your parents. But in order for them to give you the blueprints, they themselves would have had to done the research, meaning research on themselves, by way of understanding the people that they come from and understanding where they want to go. Understanding the good, bad, and the ugly, not making any excuses, and then moving forward from there. So with that being said, blueprints, the type of blueprints that I'm talking about are necessary for people to prevent themselves from making bad choices, such as being single parents, are a blueprint on how to be a young lady and a young man, a blueprint on how to be a husband, how to be a wife, a blueprint on how to find mates. The reason why I started out with this first is because relationships, when it comes to anything else, that is the most difficult, the most challenging thing that will make or break the quality of life for a person. So with that being said, that's why I started out with those. And then next we'll start off with the blueprint to be able to network with people, the blueprint to obtain skills, the blueprint to make money, those kind of things. Those things, you pretty much learn those from others, or you'll obtain those along the way. But when it comes to relationships, when it comes to how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to conduct yourself, how you're supposed to be able to control yourself and all that kind of stuff, those things start from your parents. They're supposed to give you the blueprints. They're supposed to tell you the do's and don'ts on life. Like I said before, when you think about animals, even insects in nature, everything, all of those beings teach their young from the ground up. There's a system in place that when they die, that system is still carried out. But in our way of living, this blueprint, I suppose that we used to have this blueprint long time ago, but when winners win in acts of war, then they do what they want and they run the world the way that they want to run it. So that means that your traditions, your values, all those things right there get lost by the wayside. And as they say, you have to do what your victors say. The people that won say. You have to follow them, your forefathers and foremothers. So with that being said, let's explore this. What does it really mean to be a young lady and a young man? What does that entail? What does that involve? Let's speak with the young men. like nowadays our young men are inundated with being sexual a lot earlier. Even if they don't want to, they have to think about proving themselves as a man by how many women that they get with. But then when you think about it, a lot of times when they put their emphasis into women, they don't put their emphasis into gaining skills. And gaining skills and knowing how to do things in order to make money, in order to be able to provide and support and protect your family. That's the main thing that a young man needs to learn. However, when that blueprint is not taught, this is the message that's conveyed to him. Then we think about the young lady. What is the message being conveyed to her? The more skin, the more body, the more everything that she shows, the more attention that she gets from men, that determines her sexual value. That determines how much money she's able to squander for men, how much, attention she's able to get from them, how much, looks she's able to, or adoration she's able to get from women. But when you think about it, what really makes her is how the way she keep herself up. How nice she is, how kind she is. What does she know how to do? She know how to cook. Does she know how to cook from scratch? Does she know how to do healthy meal plans so that when she have a family one day, they could be healthy? They don't have to be inundated with sicknesses and illnesses by the time they're in their late 30s and above, with things like high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight, all those kind of things. Does she know how to do that? Is she being taught that blueprint? Is she even being taught how to dress, how to carry herself, how to see herself as value? That young man, is he taught how to see himself as value? That he's valuable? Are they being taught that? But see, in that blueprint, they would know that. And that blueprint is supposed to be taught by the father and the mother. They're supposed to tell them. That's why in another video before that, I said Kevin Samuels is showing us that our parents failed us. And see, this failure doesn't go just with one generation. It keeps going 2, 3, 4 generations until someone get fed up and get tired and then start making the changes. And starting all over at ground zero. But if you think about it, if these blueprints are already in place, if they're written down somewhere, if every family decides to write down blueprints on how to be a young man, how to be a young lady, how to be a wife, how to be a husband, how to find mates, the proper mates, how to control yourself, how to career path, how to network, how to obtain skills, how to make money, how to start businesses. Just imagine what that blueprint would do for every family, every young man and young woman being born. Just imagine what that would do for society. Just imagine what that would do for the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, family members to come. If we start holding ourselves accountable and start creating these blueprints, verbally telling, physically showing it, and then writing these blueprints down. Of course, every family run their households according to the way that they see fit, and they have certain goals that they want their family line to meet. So what if we just start writing these blueprints down? What if the father and the mother start taking time out to do this? What will happen? It's our responsibility. It was our parents' responsibility, and now for those of us who have children, it's our responsibility to provide these blueprints for life, because they are absolutely necessary. So when I sit back and think about how is it that I had children without even thinking about being married and finding the proper mate, even thinking about eating healthy and preparing healthy meals, that came later on in my life. But just imagine if I was eating properly when I was pregnant. Just imagine what it would have did for my children. Just imagine if I would have decided, because I got a husband now reading to my unborn children, and I'm talking to them and I'm telling them what I want, what I would like to see them be based off of the behavior change that I have according to the child that I have inside of me. Oh, y'all didn't know that was a science too? Yes, it is. And there's a blueprint for it. It's a blueprint for everything. And we just need to take time out and sit in silence and figure it out. Because I'm going to tell you, being a single parent sucks. But like, remember when I told y'all that I was top 10% of my class? I spent a lot of my time now thinking, as I thought, while under the circumstances of being that young teenage girl in high school, having to go home every day to an argumentative household while being abused, being neglected, all these things. I started doing what I did best back then. Just go somewhere in a quiet space and think. This video is intended to not only help you all realize that being a single parent sucks and the way out of being a single parent for the future generation, and for you who don't have a family yet, it's through this blueprint. It's through exposing you to the fact that we have to put in work. Work is absolutely necessary in order to change things up. Being a single parent sucks. It is real hard, and there's people's lives that's on the line. And these people that are born because we made these choices to bring these lives on this earth haphazardly, they deserve us to tell them that we're sorry. Even though we didn't know ourselves, and now we have to do something different. We have to write the blueprints. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to get people like that you gave birth to. It's going to be difficult for them to listen. But guess who it won't be difficult for to get to listen? The grandchildren and the great-grandchildren. So you write this plan up for every aspect, everything that you can think of that's important to you. Even a blueprint on growing food, the type of food that's good for your family. For an example, my family, when it comes to eating noodles is very harsh on our digestive tract. Oatmeal is too. So what will be written in our blueprint is that, hey, you may not want to eat those things, or if you do, eat it very, very limited, because it will impact your digestive tract. We can't eat it. See? That's the importance of blueprints. So that when people down the line that's born of your family, when they need answers, they can go back to the books that you have created. It is parents' responsibility. It is the parents' responsibility to create the blueprints for the lives of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, lineages to come. So the work is necessary. That's why people like Kevin Samuels, who give us this shock of saying you're not deserving if you have children out of wedlock. The guy's not wrong. Everybody needs to stop getting mad at him. He's right. You don't deserve this person who did it right. There's somebody else who did it right. Get that person. That's a selfish mentality. But how about you write out a blueprint so that your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren can be able to attract the best? Hold everybody accountable. So, on that note, being a single parent sucks. However, in order to get out of that, blueprints for life are necessary. And those blueprints come by way of the parents. It is the parents' responsibility. So, if you like this video, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Spread it on. Send this message along to any of your friends. And also check out my previous videos as well. I'm sure there's trinkets, little trinkets of nuggets that you can use to be able to help you with your life. or at least create a new way of thinking.